How's everyone going? So Monuments Men, which stars George Clooney, or not, how's it going? So Monuments Men, which is written and directed by George Clooney, also stars himself, Matt Damon, Kate Blanchett, Bill Murray, John Goodman, and just a slew of other familiar faces you'll recognize as they pop up throughout the film. And it's basically about a bunch of civilians who are thrown into the Second World War and have to go over to Europe and do the job of protecting and preserving historical artifacts, landmarks, and painting of sorts because they believe that killing a whole generation of people is unacceptable, but wiping their existence from the face of the planet is dishumane, and they have this difficult job of having to protect and preserve all these kind of artifacts because a lot of people don't feel like a life is worth it. Why risk going into a city and trying to protect a painting when lives could be lost? And that's something that they value significantly over the film. And one of the messages is that some pieces of art are more important than one man, and that's a constant theme throughout the film, specifically after one event. And it's a weird type of film because it was dead heat in the Oscar season last year, and then it got delayed, and everyone was kind of like, "What's wrong with this film?" It got pushed back to February. It must have been for a reason. And the Rotten Tomatoes score for this film is really low, and so it caught me off guard. So my expectations were down a little bit, but I can see where there are some complaints, but I don't actually see where you can actually truly dislike this movie to extent to make it rotten. At least 23%. I mean, I can see it bordering around 50, but that's besides the point. This is my opinion, not everyone else's. The film is more about the characters, I guess, than the actual adventure of going and rescuing the plots. It spends a lot of time trying to develop this group of men that they call the Monuments Men, and sorry, it tries to develop a bunch of characters in a limited amount of time, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I overall enjoyed just about every character that was involved in this little group of theirs. Ironically, the one I didn't really enjoy all that much was Matt Damon, who I tend to really enjoy. But he was kind of off doing his own thing while they all stuck together and had great chemistry and kind of interacted throughout the scenes. He was kind of left off by himself, kind of looking through paperwork and trying to figure out exactly where these paintings might be. So he kind of got the short end of the stick. And he gets paired with Kate Blanchett, who, I don't know, she was just kind of feels like a miscast character because it wasn't given a whole lot, and so someone of her pedigree you'd feel like would be involved in the plot a little bit more, but they never actually kind of work her into the point to where you see why she wanted to do this type of movie. I guess it's doing a favor for George Clooney, but it's a strange film because it sometimes plays like a comedy, and then it expects you to take it more serious when things hit the fan. And the jokes are never distasteful, but I mean, because you do laugh at them and you get this type of tone, but like, it never wants to be entirely serious, and because of that, you never really take their mission as serious as I think you should, because, I mean, why are they trying to preserve all these paintings and risk so many lives to do so? And you also get a little bit of perspective about the enemy, and not just Germany, but like the Soviets are after all these paintings, and apparently they hold it more significant than I. And it's a little weird seeing them all like headed towards the same point, and it's almost a race against time, and it's a little weird. But I did, like I said, enjoy the characters and the transitions they went through throughout the movie more than the actual story itself. I specifically liked Bill Murray in this movie. I thought he had a fantastic scene, and his relationship, or not relationship, but his chemistry, and I guess you could say the relationship he came to have with his kind of partner in crime, which was played by Bob Stegehagen. I don't remember, I can't pronounce his last name, but it was really nice, and they bounced off each other well. And that's kind of what they did. They kind of like teamed them together and ended up having some really good moments, because John Goodman is also with Jean Pierre. I forget his last name. He's from The Artist, but they had some nice moments together too. And like I said, they all had their kind of mini subplots, and I enjoyed just about all of them, except for Matt Damon's. And then leading up into the integrating into the main focus point of trying to protect the art, I really not bought into, but enjoyed the discoveries of when they finally kind of found and caught a break for once, because it's almost got like this National Treasure / Indiana Jones vibe when they first find these kind of hidden areas of where they were hiding the paintings, and it was just really cool. The on the flip side of that, one of the things I didn't really like was the portrayal of the Germans. I mean, the guy himself kind of just disappeared. The main bad guy, the main German throughout this, they started setting him up, and then just in an instant he's gone. And then when you finally meet back up with him, it's like a quick 2-minute scene that just makes you go, why did you spend so much time with him in the beginning? But I don't know what it is about Germans and Nazis, but whenever they have like interrogation scenes in movies, it's just really intense, and you don't know what's going to happen. And once again, this movie is lighthearted kind of, but in this particular moment it's really intense and serious, and it's just not necessarily a shock, but a quick what type of genre flip they go for. And it's hard to take its main mission seriously when a lot of the situations that could be suspenseful end up not necessarily being, they end in jokes, but like they're not laugh out loud jokes. They're kind of an example is they're getting shot at by the enemy forces, and it's supposed to be not necessarily an intense scene, because John Goodman and the guy from The Artist are bouncing back with these one-liners that are making you chuckle, but then the enemy ends up being a little kid, and it's like, okay, am I supposed to be laughing at that, or was that serious? I don't know. It may seem like I'm kind of like crapping on the movie, but I mean, I still enjoyed it, and it's definitely one of the better ones I've seen this year. I don't know if that speaks to how crappy 2014 has been, or if this is just a nice little film to have at the beginning of the year full of garbage. But with that, I'm going to give Monuments a B-. Could have been a little better. Still enjoyed what I got out of it. And if you happen to see it, write in the comments below and tell me what you thought of it, guys. See you later.